Hey, what's up, everybody? BDF44. So I got another topic, not Ben Simmons related for a change. Getting back to the Lakers on this one. Someone asked if Russell Westbrook could average a triple double this season, and brought me here to bring my opinion. That's what that question did. So, what do I think? Easily, easily. Of course. Are you kidding me? The only thing that would make me even wonder if his numbers could dip slightly is the presence of LeBron James pulling down some of them boards that he loves to pick off the rim. Bron likes picking those off the rim too. So if he doesn't have a triple double average this year, it'll be because his boards are down. It won't be because his assists are down, and I don't think he has to worry about points anyway. I don't think Russell's going to walk away with more than 10 points every game because he's going to get 4 layups and a couple free throws, and that's all he needs. So, I remember Shaq said something a long time ago, and I don't remember exactly the math on it, but he said, a big man should be able to average a certain amount of points because all you got to do is get a few layups, few free throws, pull a couple boards down, that's it, and you got those type of stats. It ain't that hard. Give me two layups per quarter, and you got it. You know what I mean? Like, guys like Russell Westbrook kind of are masters to that degree. He's mastered the art of getting stats many, many moons ago. So if you think he's going to have trouble getting statistics on a team with Anthony Davis on it, you don't know basketball. His stats should be just fine. Like I said, the boards that he loves picking off the rim, some of the easiest ones he likes getting, those defensive boards, I do think some of those will go to Bron. But I also think Bron knows who he's bringing to his team, and I think there will be a lot of opportunities for Russell Westbrook to run the offense himself. And I think it's going to be important that LeBron James learns how to play off the ball for Russell Westbrook and let him make some of his decisions early so we can get used to him early. We all know who LeBron James is, and we all know what he can do, and he's not going to not be able to do those things at any given moment during the season. I think the smart idea for the Lakers is to start the season letting Russell Westbrook run the point. Whatever mistakes he's going to do, whatever bad shots he's going to take, we need to let him do it early so we can have a bunch of footage on it throughout the season so that we can try to scheme our way around it. We want to see it early. That's my strategy in regards to the Los Angeles Lakers if I had any say so in the matter. Because, Bron he's going to find his rhythm with his teammates. That's one of the best things about LeBron James. Even throughout games where Westbrook is controlling the offense, I guarantee you LeBron James will still be off the ball facilitating regardless. That's just the greatness of LeBron James. He's extremely fluid on that basketball floor. So I'm not worried about him playing off ball or none of that. It's not. Russell Westbrook reveres LeBron James in such a way, probably different than Kevin Durant, because I think he knows he's going to get the ball back. You understand? If you're playing with people like LeBron James, Magic Johnson, Lonzo Ball, Ben Simmons, you're not worried about them having the ball because the first thing they're thinking about is how they can get the ball to someone else, particularly you if you're great enough. So I don't think Russell Westbrook and LeBron James are going to have issues in that way after they work the kinks out. And I think the only way they're going to work the kinks out is to let Russell Westbrook run the point early. Let him do anything and everything he's going to do. Practically give him the keys. Because once LeBron gets it, him and AD, him and the rest of these players, for the most part, they already play with each other. Dwight, those guys, they know each other. We'll work our shooting guards in regardless, and they're going to get their times without those guys on the floor anyway. But we got to learn how to get that Westbrook AD chemistry going. That's what's most important. And those two learning how to play with one another. And we know what Westbrook does. He makes centers look better. Every center he's ever played with, numbers go up playing with him. And this is going to be just like a hyper version of that. Because needless to say, he ain't never played with nobody like AD. So I'm not worried at all. I think I would be worried if this team were built differently, if we had different pieces and didn't have as much shooting. But because we have so much shooting, some of the issues that we were most afraid of, we're not worried about those issues anymore. As long as our shooters stay healthy, we should be fine. And we have a lot of shooters. We made sure just about everybody on this roster is a shooter in that way. So there should be very little room for difficulty with LeBron James and Westbrook playing with one another. There should be very little room for failure there. And you gotta understand, this isn't young Russell Westbrook. He's not, 21 years old running around trying to prove himself against another guy who's also his age, who's also super great. That's not the dynamic. Russell Westbrook's been through this league for many years. He knows himself. He knows his teammates. These guys have all been in the league for 14 years together, longer in some cases. So we just need to go ahead and let them work it out. Us as fans need to understand that the media are going to react to whatever they do. Like literally all the struggles that they're going to have, as usual, they're going to react to it the same way they always do when the Lakers struggle. I expect us to struggle early. Not necessarily by the standards of other teams, but by super team standards, I expect us to struggle. Because we are an older team, which means that older guys are going to have to work their way into shape in some cases. We are a new team, with the exception of the players that have played with one another and won championships together. And there will be a learning curve there. So, yeah, I think we'll be good. I think we'll be extremely good. I think we're the favorites to be in the finals this year with the Nets. And we'll see what happens. You know, a lot of things can change between now and the trade deadline. Health permitting, of course, will be straight. And as far as COVID protocols concerned, we'll see if we're put through the same mandates that the Knicks, Nets, and Warriors have been, which is, as I mentioned last night, they must be vaccinated in order to play home games. Now, I don't know if that's going to be the case for the Staples Center. I don't know who's all vaccinated, who's not on our team. Don't know. So it's going to be interesting to see how all of this plays out. Depth will be the story for a lot of teams this year, just like it was last. So yeah, man, that's what I'm thinking. I think the Laker rookies, the guys that they got, that they drafted or that they signed after the draft, they will have opportunities to play. You will see them in uniform at times. I think you'll see some DNPs and some guys that you just won't play at all because of the high usage of the players on this team. But ultimately, it's all about three people. And their synergy, their health, and how well they get along will ultimately tell the story. You know, our shooters are going to shoot, but defensive schemes is what's going to be the puzzle. And how do we react to defensive breakdowns or defensive shortcomings? Do guys start looking at one another, getting frustrated because we do have some defensive deficiencies, and they can cause other troubles. You know, cause other type of issues that we may otherwise not have, which is why it's so important that the Lakers do the right thing with these last couple of roster spots, whatever that may be, to assure that we have a little more defensive presence, particularly in the front court. I think that'll help us a lot. So, yeah, there are some things the Lakers can do. I hear DeAndre Jordan's on our list. I'm not in love with that. I've talked about that before. I just don't know how much he has left, and if the Nets don't want him, why do we? That's my thinking. You know, there's literally no reason for them to be giving away a player they can use. No, they're in the same boat as us. So that's a red flag for me. At any rate, yeah, that's pretty much what I'm thinking, man. I'm just waiting for the Simmons trade. Honestly, that's going to be the next real big thing, obviously. So, depending on where he goes, may sway what happens here with these two teams. Heck, he might go to one of these two teams. That's not impossible, especially given what I believe will be a very low price tag on Ben Simmons, which means lots of picks coming out of Philadelphia if my prediction is correct. So any team will want to be a part of that, especially if it's only 4 teams in the mix. So maybe he ends up on one of these two teams. Maybe he ends up in Brooklyn. You know, Kyrie Irving's, hey, you never know. There's a lot to say. So, yeah, that's what I got, man. My name is BDF44. I thank y'all for watching.